Hey there everyone, Catherine Thompson here. We're talking about the threat for severe weather this afternoon. This is Monday, 11:03 now. I'm going to be live at noon tracking these storms. You want to make sure you turn in to WVBA. I think we may actually be having a live stream over Facebook and on our webpage as well, depending on the threat for severe weather and how it really develops into the afternoon. We've got some light rain around right now, maybe even some moderate downpours at the bottom of the southern end, really, of Tazewell County. We've had a few showers here and there across the area, but the main focus will be on the line of storms that's actually just to our west, moving through parts of Kentucky and Ohio as we speak, soon to be through West Virginia, through Virginia. This is associated with a very strong cold front that's moving through the area, and we could definitely have numerous severe storms this afternoon. Oh, hey, there's me there. I'm going to try to look at the webcam, but if you see me looking down, I'm obviously looking at my graphics, so bear with me. As far as storm impacts go, we could again see some severe thunderstorms this afternoon. In those severe storms, the primary threats today, the first one, number one, will be damaging straight line winds. We're talking at 58 miles an hour or higher. That is the severe criteria. For a severe thunderstorm, you have to have winds at 58 miles or higher or in excess of that. We're talking about wind gusts. So that's definitely possible into the afternoon. That's, again, number one threat. That's the highest risk for that is across our area today. Second on the list would be hail. It's not the highest risk in the world. In fact, since this morning, the risk for the large hail, we're talking like quarter size or an inch or so in diameter, has actually come down a little bit, but we could still see some of it in isolated instances, and we could still get that small hail just about everywhere today. We've seen that a lot lately, actually. And that's pretty common for this time of year in our mountains to have some of that small hail. So if you've got the cars that are outside and they need to be pulled into garages, if you have garages, make sure you do that. And if you have anything outside that can be damaged by hail, take it inside. Keep an eye on the pets today as well, because again, this is dangerous for everybody. You're also going to have, of course, a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, and locally heavy rain as well. Now, flooding, though not a huge concern on the list, the storms themselves this afternoon actually look pretty quick moving, so we're not expecting a widespread or terrible flood threat. The risk for that is very low. It will be localized, if anything, and it's just going to be the poor drainage areas, low-lying areas. You could get a downpour that may make things bubble up over the roads for a little while, but they should go back down. By sundown tonight, I mean, these storms will be rolling out of here, so we won't have much to worry about after we get past this afternoon. On the list, too, it's not a zero risk, folks, is the risk for a isolated tornado or maybe even a few of them. Now, we're not talking about the major tornadoes they see out in the west. We don't get those here, but we can still see a smaller tornado that could briefly spin up. It should be a weak one, if any do pop up. And the better chance of that, I'm thinking, is going to be along and east of Interstate 77 today, because that's when the storms are going to be coming through a little bit later, so it's a little bit more daytime heating for those storms to work with. So that's something we're keeping a very close eye on. Of course, know your plan. Go to Tornado Safe Room. That's going to be your bathroom, your basement, the lowest floor of your house, and an interior room, preferably without windows. And that goes for just severe thunderstorms in general, guys, because remember, I mean, yes, we can get tornadoes here, and yes, that's a huge issue, but straight line winds is the primary threat today, and a lot of times we can get straight line winds here in the mountains that are more powerful and more destructive, or at least just as destructive as a small tornado would be, and the risk for that is, again, higher today. So power outages and down trees, I am expecting some of that into the afternoon. Last time we had this threat was when that huge roof blew off of that place in the Brush Fork area. We had some power lines down, I think, across Fayette County. I remember several reports of all kinds of stuff going on, and that's the exact same risk we are in today. So remember that, compare it to last time, and say, okay, worst case scenario, that could happen again today. So that's kind of where we're comparing it to. So there's your kind of breakdown of your threats. Again, the culprit is this strong cold front. Now, I drew this front this morning, so now it's a little out of place. I got to redraw it to put it actually a little closer to the precipitation on the map there. But you can see by 1 o'clock, we've got showers and thunderstorms firing up all the way from parts of Canada down to South Carolina in that linear formation. Notice how they're kind of just disorganized, though. They're still kind of scattered when it comes to the local level. And then tonight, that front clears the area. So again, it's a pretty fast-moving system you'll get your few storms, and then it'll be over into the afternoon. But, you know, you got to heed the warnings if we do. Here's a closer look at Futurecast. As you can see, here we are, 12 o'clock this afternoon. This is what one of the models is predicting, and it's pretty in line with the others. But I will say that it has become a little bit more disorganized since this morning. There's still a big question over whether or not the cloud cover in the next hour will hamper severe weather, will help to kind of lower the instability in the atmosphere. But there's a chance, too, that we could also break out of that cloud cover in several spots, which other models are also showing. So that's kind of up in the air right now, obviously, the strength of these storms. But we got to, you know, it's kind of like hope for the best, prepare for the worst scenario, which I've said a few times this morning. But notice how we've got, you know, some thunderstorms firing off in Southside Virginia by lunchtime, and Charleston, Ashland, they're starting to see some activity. We fast forward a little bit. Still looks like the really bad storms are going to be just to our east across the Virginia Piedmont, where we've got a little bit more heating there, Roanoke, Clifton, Forge, Martinsville. But we're still going to have some isolated convection, at least, that could produce some severe weather from Charleston right down the I-77 corridor and right on the North Carolina-Virginia line there, just south of us. And into the afternoon, I'm really concerned about these storms just to our east. They could still be moved over a tad. And look at Pocahontas, Greenbrier counties. Still could be getting pelted right at the peak of the daytime heating hour. So that's a little concerning. Travis and I are going to be on this very closely into the afternoon. Frances is off today, but I know she's following this from home too. And she'll have to come in if needed as well. But notice, though, 4 o'clock, our western side, Pikeville, Kentucky, is looking actually clear. We actually start to get the cloud cover decreasing overnight. Not going to rule out a few showers here and there over the next couple of days, but it'd be really spotty if anything, and we are expecting mainly dry, breezy, much cooler conditions behind this front. That might be a little bit of a shock because we are going from 80s, if not, some of y'all probably hit 90 over the weekend. I wasn't here, I was in North Carolina, but we're going from that to 60s, possibly some 50s heading into the weekend because we've got more rain coming in at the end of the week. So again, just play it safe out there today, guys. Please be weather aware. Have a way to receive weather alerts. Of course, keep up with us. We may be actually streaming our live noon or our noon broadcast live, depending on the severity of the situation at that point. So that's something we're keeping an eye on throughout the rest of the day, for sure. Again, into tonight, temperatures drop into the 40s. We'll gradually be calming down. We'll be a little breezy into tomorrow, but we'll take a quick look at our rest of our 7-day here. We do have some rain coming in for the end of the week. This is going to be a much slower moving system. So anywhere from Thursday into Sunday, we could have some rain, and that's where we are going to be concerned about flooding issues if we were to have any problems with that anytime soon. It would be sometime late week into the weekend because of those repetitive days of rain with a slow-moving system. Again, flooding today not really expected, but definitely have some damaging winds. Definitely could have some power issues into the afternoon, some downed trees, some hail. So stay weather aware. I'm going to go get the noon show ready to go, and I'll see you guys at 12 o'clock. Have a good one.